Greetings and welcome to 773 Auckland Tarot. How's everybody doing? Greetings, y'all. Greetings. Let me see what's up in here. Give me a second. So we got someone there. Rabbit. It was a crazy day, baby. It was a crazy day. I'm so glad you're here, baby. Thank you for joining me, sweetie girl. If you only knew, Lady Sarah, if you only knew. Anyway, I'm glad you're here with me, baby. I'm glad you're here with me. Before we get into it, baby, how you doing? How was your day, sweetie? Oh shit! What did I do? I messed up. There it is. There it is. Well, the Lady Sarah. Oh, look at her. Honey, my Judy on duty. I love it, baby. Thank you so much. It was good. It was good. Okay, you had a good day. I had a good day too, love. I had a very good day too. It was busy. It was busy, busy, busy. I always like to come live on Sunday night. I always like to give, the Tarot Bites a little something that they can hold on to, in the beginning of their 5-day work cycle. And so then what had happened was that I was busy with holiday stuff and I was just feeling so much pressure. And you know what? And Spirit said, you know what? That's what we should talk about today. We should talk about, how not to let the added pressure of the holidays walk with us in our brand new 5-day work cycle. We got 5 people in the chat. Please come on in the chat. Please hit the like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Before we get into anything, y'all, so I woke up today, and for whatever reason, I was looking at the YouTube and stuff, and then I came across, like my header for my YouTube. I don't know how it happened. 1,263 subscribers. I am amazed. I am humbled and I am amazed. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, I remember starting this, 2.5 years ago, and I never thought that I was going to get this much. I know there's a lot of tarot readers out there. Thank you, my love. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Lady Sarah. I know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there that I know that there's a lot of readers and stuff like that. I know that they have huge followings and stuff like that. The goal was never to be a great, big, huge YouTuber. The goal was to be able to do what I do and just find my tribe. And you all are my tribe. And I'm so glad I found you. So thank you. If you notice, let me get out of here. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna dip out and then I'm gonna come back in. Y'all look at my back. Chicago, winter. Baby, it's cold out here. It is cold out here. And I recently someone very dear to me just became housed. They've been unhoused for 3 years. And seeing them warm, I went by to go check on them today. Seeing them warm, seeing them take care of their home, and then the juxtaposition of like when I'm on the bus or on the train and I see the tents out there, it's beginning to get harder and harder to ignore that. And last night I said it on the live. I don't know what 2026 is going to bring, but I do know that I've got to do something with this passion. I do know that I've got to, I think I want to go into the community, and I really do believe that I want to do some type of work, either with the homeless or with community mental health. So I think that's what I'm gonna I think that's what 2026 is going to bring for me. All right. So with that being said, the Lady Autumn here is here. Greetings, Mademoiselle. Greeting. I'm glad that you can make it. I'm glad that you can make it. Before I get into tonight's live, let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. Mars in Capricorn is in peak power. It's going to be in peak power tomorrow, because Mars is Capricorning. Mars is going to be in Capricorn, and it's going to find its exaltation. Let me break that down. Okay. Mars in Capricorn is peak power energy. All the shit you want to do, you're going to be able to do it if you're willing to put in the work. All right. Because Mars is all action. Mars is all drive. Mars is all momentum. When Mars is in its exaltation, it's like it's in its natural prime. Everything you want to get done, you have to focus. You're going to have the stamina and the precision to actually see it through. So this transit isn't about hype or recklessness. It's about moving smart. It's about steady and effective action and intention. All right. The energy favors results, structure, and tangible progress. So we're starting off this 5-day work cycle correctly. We started this 5-day work cycle correctly with Mars and Capricorn in its exaltation. So people are going to be more goal orientated. People are going to be more motivated. People are going to see like long-term projects gain traction. So, the vibe is going to be practical energy over impulsive energy. Everyone's thinking about what's actually working, and again, people are going to be, they're going to put their nose to the grindstone. They're going to be focused on what actually works, not just what feels good or what just feels easy at the moment. All right. So, with all that being said, I want to take my time tonight. For everybody joining in. I was explaining to the lady Sarah, otherwise known as Rabbit Crafts. I was explaining to her that I was ripping and running. There was a lot of holiday shit that I was doing, and I really felt under the gun. I really felt like I was under the pressure. So tonight is not about the hype. Tonight, I want to speak honestly. So we're looking at a brand new 5-day work cycle. And for whatever reason, it's going to feel heavier than usual. Not just because Capricorn is in its Mars is in Capricorn in its exaltation. No. And not because we did something wrong, but because the holidays haven't given anybody like a rest. For whatever reason, like the holidays, they just add weight. They add another layer to shit that's already there. So before I talk about productivity, before I talk about discipline, before I talk about goals, we really need to talk about this pressure. Let me get my assets out. Right now, we're going to focus right here. The Wheel of Fortune. So this wheel, it reminds us that cycles shift, whether we're ready for it or not. A new rhythm doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for adjustment. So psychologically, new cycles are going to trigger uncertainty. And when the brain senses uncertainty, it's going to look for stability. The tension that we feel stepping into this week, that's our nervous system trying to recalibrate. we counter that by trying to create small anchors. So in order for us to like deflect that weight that this new week is going to bring, here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep patterns, because we need to make small anchors for ourselves. So we're going to wake up on time. We're going to wake up consistently at the time we're supposed to wake up. We're going to clear our first task, whether it's getting out of bed and making our beds, whatever. We're going to solidify that we are in this mode where we can do shit by doing small things that's going to give us the momentum to do bigger things. Are you with me? Y'all feel me? So we're going to do that for the next 5 days. We're going to start with one clear task, and we are going to end with a clean slate on that day. When that day is over, that day is over. All right? Stability does not come from mastering a whole 5-day work cycle. Stability comes from repeating a few steady behaviors. Let me do something. I'm going to drop the link. Anybody want to get up on here and tell me if they feeling any pressures? Feel free to do so. And I'm just going to keep going on. So when we talk about these pressures, here, I want to get this up right here. Look at that. The 10 of Wands. You know, the 10 of Wands. We're talking about pressure that didn't fit. It just stacked up against us. So the 10 of Wands shows what happens when weight keeps stacking without a release. For a lot of people, the holidays weren't restful. They were laborious. They were emotional. It was financial stress. There was family dynamics. There was like these expectations. So psychologically, this creates like a cognitive overload, and then our motivation drops because we're so fucking overloaded, and our patience gets real short. Our self-criticism gets really loud. So the long of the short of it is that burnout doesn't come from doing too much. Burnout comes from never putting down that weight. So hold on, let me get rid of this, and let me put our guest up on here. There we go. Hold on. Autumn, your mic is off, baby. There you go. Greetings, Michael. Greetings, Autumn. Hello. So talk to me. So wait a minute, before we do anything, Autumn, how was last night?
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Are you gonna give us the tea? What?
Listen, I got all dressed up, ready to have a good time. Got there, waiting for the young lady who invited me out. She came up. She called me Mom Sherry. She said, Mom Sherry, I'm sorry, but it's no chairs. I said, it's no chairs.
Oh, no.
I'm like, what? So I'm seeing people bringing in chairs. I said, this is so unprofessional. It was snowing. It was sleeting. I'm like, oh, I said, baby, I can't stand during the whole situation. But I came out to support you. I love you. I'm out. And I left. I went past to see my daughter, at her little job for a little while, and I came on in. But I want to say, listen, I don't know. You know what? When bad things happen to me, I'll be like, God, I'll be sitting there thinking, like, what did I do? When I tell you these past couple of days, it's been one. It's been like boom, boom, boom. And I've been holding my head up like, okay, I'm going to get through this. Let me move past this. And then boom, something else. I'm riding on my way home and I smell something burning when I turned on the heat in my car. I'm like, no. Well, earlier in the week, my heater went. That's why I got a hat on. I said, oh my, I was like, it's holiday time. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna try to brighten up my little mood. Let me turn on my little Christmas tree. Well, the cats did something to the lights on the Christmas tree. The tree won't light up. I said, oh my God.
At
I
least you
just said,
laughing about it.
I just said, fuck it. I'm going to bed. I said, I can't do nothing else. I said,
Amen.
God, listen, for real. And I'm so glad I have this space that I can come and talk to you guys. I came upstairs and tears just came. I said, God, please, I need a break. I said, what else? I can't take nothing else right now. Not right now. I just can't. It was like bam, bam, bam. I'm like, oh God, I'm scared what tomorrow gonna bring. I said, I can't take nothing else. I said, oh well, you know, I don't know. But other than that, I'm really okay. Like my mom and them calling me, oh, you all right in there? I said, I got a heater in my room. I put on a pot of water to warm up the house, and before I go to bed, I go cut it off. And really, I can say I'm sad, but I'm okay. I'm not devastated. I'm not devastated. I'm sad, but I'm not devastated.
What did that show us?
It's a lot of growth on my part because I would have felt completely apart.
Mama, that's resiliency.
Yes.
That's resiliency. Autumn, and the thing is that it's just like, I get up on here and I'm waiting for somebody to say, all right, Miss Ronnie, I don't want to hear nothing more about this goddamn positivity or something. Okay. The thing is though, baby, is that we really do. We really have to, we really have to celebrate our little wins. We really
Yes.
have to celebrate our little wins. And I will say this to you, Miss Autumn. I am very proud of you. I really am proud of you, sweetheart, because you know what, baby? You know what they say. It's hard to keep a good diva down. That's why you keep coming back. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, and here's the and Autumn, and the thing is that like it is perspective. Everything is perspective and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Here, yes, girl, your heater went out. That is fucked up. Yes, girl, they did not have chairs at the venue. Okay, they did not have chairs at the venue. But but I bet you when the young lady that calls you Mama Sherry, I'm going to have a function. I bet you it's going to be easier. Baby, I'm going to be there to support you. The moment I see there ain't no chairs, the moment I see some bullshit, Mama Sherry's out. So I don't want no hurt feelings.
Right. Right.
Okay. Well, I don't want no hurt feelings.
Yes.
And that's just how Sherry. And let me ask you this, baby.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. With the shit that happened last night, would it have been worse or would it have been a little easier if the holidays weren't around this?
I can say maybe a little better. Just to be able to sit and, enjoy, the music and the people and stuff like that. And I'm coming home alone. So, I think it may have been a little bit better. You know what I mean? But, things happen for, it was beyond her control.
Right.
It was beyond her control. So I didn't blame her, but I
No, and
wasn't, yeah,
it wasn't about assigning the blame. It wasn't about
right.
assigning what it was that what I said was that the situation showed us what we will and what we will not tolerate. And
Absolutely.
once we let people understand, baby, I'm not up for the bullshit and I'm not standing.
Right.
We know. We know.
Yeah.
Girl, listen. Listen.
I wanna comment one more thing.
Yeah.
When we was talking about the work that you want to do. Actually, my son is into that type of work, and
Oh,
I was too, but I dealt with children and teenagers. I actually have a nonprofit called Kids First Project.
okay.
It started out with helping children that was coming to my children's school hungry, and we started feeding them, and then we started feeding the families and stuff like that. And like, if they came to school dirty, like I um got a connection with the church across the street, and they started donating like clean uniforms and stuff, so the babies, like the kindergartners, if they went to the bathroom on themselves, and the parents, we couldn't get in touch with the parents, they would have clean clothes instead of being wet and dirty all day.
Mm,
So I did that for years. I still have my nonprofit. I'm just not as active as I was. I just want to say this though. When you're a community worker, it is so hard. It is so hard. It can be very heartbreaking, and mentally you really have to be mentally strong, because the things you encounter, it is so hard. And I hear you talking about like the homeless people on the street. Let me tell you, the unseen community is the ones I try to target. The unseen ones are the children that are homeless. And people don't really talk about them. And I had to bring awareness to that at my children's high school when they were in high school. And I found out about them because some of the homeless children were friends with my kids. And they
mm,
were sleeping in cars, they was couch surfing wherever they could go. And a lot of teachers and a lot of the staff at the school did not know. And it is a large community of young people that are homeless and that are in those same situations. And we see the adults more than we may see the children. They're out there, but we just don't see them as much as we do the adults. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that too. We have a lot of homeless children.
But you also know, I want to say this before. I'm sorry, Diva. I
go
want to
ahead, Mike.
just interject. But
Yeah.
half some of the youth who are homeless, some of them are LGBT. I found out that
Yes,
a
they
lot of
are.
them,
Yes, they are.
yes.
Yes, they
And I'm
are.
like, oh my goodness. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting. My bad.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, no, you're fine. And you're absolutely right. And they are ostracized. I actually was a speaker to some parents of LGBTQ children because I have a son that's gay. And a lot,
Mm,
believe it or not, it's a lot of parents who can't handle it. And they wanted to know, how did I maneuver through him from a child growing to a teenager to now being an adult? How do I feel about that, and how did I handle that? And I said, first of all, that's my child. That was his choice that he made,
that
you
part.
know. And when he was younger, when he became too, like, he go to school too flamboyant, I would say tone it down. Just tone it down. I've got teachers fired. I've got
Mm.
NTA fired, calling him a fat faggot and all that. I would
Oh
sit right
no.
down to the school board and I said, "Oh, he a fat faggot. I'm gonna have your job." "Oh, you ain't gonna have my job." I said, "Watch." Sat there all day and had the job. They were fired. See, I didn't play about mine. And what I tried to explain to the parents, I said, I know if it's religious reasons or ethic reasons, I understand how you feel. It took a while for my husband at the time to understand him too. But that was our child. And we have to love him regardless. We can't allow him to be bullied or hurt. I
Mhm,
said, we are their
mhm.
first advocate. So we have to advocate for them. You know what I mean? Because they get out there and they run into the wrong crowds or the wrong people that do horrible things to them. You know what I mean? And that's where you find them becoming homeless. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad, and I hate I ain't gonna say I hate talking about it, but it's so heartbreaking because I was out there in the trenches with them and I see what they went through. And I had to take a step back, Miss Ronnie. I did. Mentally, I was shot. I was coming home crying. I couldn't sleep. I'm on the phone with these kids trying to get them help, and they were being denied. Nobody wanted to help them, and it was just horrible. And I was like, well, I'm gonna just do what I can. Just please stay safe. You know what I mean? Is that you just have to have a big, not a big heart, but a strong constitution
Let
because
me
that
say this.
work.
Let me say this, Miss Autumn. Let me say this. I have not dealt with like the community. I have done just one on one. And
Yes,
and I don't want to keep
yes,
bringing his name up because I don't he's getting better now. Things are getting better. So there's no need to keep repeating his past. You see what I'm
right.
saying?
I
But
understand.
you stay right there. You stay right there because Michael, Mr. Stevens, what did you want to say, baby? What did you want
Well,
to
I
have?
wanted to say, I'm kind of glad that you brought up the whole Mars coming in. You said something about the Mars coming into something about the hard working
Mars
and
and
everything.
Mars and Capricorn, and
Ye-
it's exaltation. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing I'm hoping, and I just wanted to put this out to the universe, I have this big ass credit card bill I want to pay, and I'm putting it out to the universe that I want to pay it because it worries me. It really worries me, and and not to go into details, but it's not, some of it is not my fault because you know how I've learned that when you send off credit card payments, you have to send it off priority because the USPS will lose your mail. And
But you don't do like electronic payments?
no, I don't. I don't trust the electronic. I'd rather do it the old fashioned way, but maybe you're gonna say get with the times, but I would prefer to do it priority because that way it will get to them, in my opinion. But I'm just very worried about this debt I got, and I just don't want it in my face. But they, over the years that I've been with them, they have expanded my credit limit, and I think that's good. But because they know that I will pay it on time, at least so try to. So but I'm focused on that this week, trying to pay my credit card bill and stuff. But so
So what is your plan?
focus on making that money. Focus on not focus so much on work, but just keep my eye on the prize per se, because it's just like if you don't, you're gonna be, all over the place and definitely be more cognizant of how I spend my money, because I think I get paid this week anyway. So, you
Michael,
know. Yes,
Michael,
ma'am.
repeat after me.
Yes,
Repeat after me.
yes.
I'm in control.
I am in control.
My debt is shrinking
My debt is shrinking
and my wallet is winning.
and my wallet is winning.
I am in control.
I am in control.
My debt is shrinking
My debt is shrinking
and my wallet is winning.
and my wallet is winning.
I am in control.
I am in control.
My debt is shrinking
My debt is shrinking
and my wallet is winning.
and my wallet is winning.
That's it. That's all.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
That's all. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop you down. I'm gonna
All
talk to
right.
Miss Autumn some more, honey. All
All
right.
right.
Don't
Bye.
you go to sleeping. Wait a minute. Don't you go to sleeping class either, Michael. Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna give you a little behind the scenes. Last night, when I was saying my goodbyes, I was like, "Goodbye, Mr. Stevens." I'm like, "Oh, he probably went to sleep in class." He hits me up on Instagram. I did not go to sleep in class. Like,
Mhm.
so, so Autumn, going back to what we were talking about and stuff like that. Um, So I'm not gonna say what I'm not gonna say it because I don't know where this travels, and I don't need any backlash. But I'm gonna say this. Where you say, excuse me, where you say you had some teachers fired,
Yes, I
yeah,
did. I
yeah,
did.
I can see how that can happen. Um, in front of me, I saw somebody that was entrusted to take care of the individual that I'm involved with.
Yes.
And I saw them trigger him. I saw them make him upset. I saw them make him just lose it in front of me. And the thing is that I'm a pretty formidable bitch. You know what I'm saying? And then when I
Mhm.
went up to this individual, baby, this individual had no qualms at all. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh no.
okay. No,
Ooh,
wait. Note to self. Note to self. We definitely going to revisit this. But right now, I got bigger fish to fry.
I understand.
Right, right now, I got bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
Okay, we got housing. We
Yes.
now need medical attention.
Okay.
We now need medical attention. Wait a minute. The lady Sarah says, "Oh, it sounds like they were power tripping." Old lady Sarah, you don't know the half of it, baby. And when I'm able, when I'm able to talk about it, I will bring it up. I share everything with you all. But baby, the thing is that, and especially during this shutdown. Now, and
Yes.
wait a minute. And before I even went on, I was on the phone with my insurance person, and my insurance just went up. It went up big. You know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. And the thing is that I don't worry. I pay because
Yes.
I know that my money comes from expected and unexpected sources. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. You just tell me what it is, and we will find a way. I will pay this. We will find
Yes.
a way. But um it, you know, I understand what you were saying about having a strong constitution because, Autumn, there have been many times that I have gone to bed not racking my brain for the lack of resources, but just looking at how far this individual has come, how many things this individual has come through to get to where they're at right now. And to have a human being beaten down.
Oh, I know. Kindness costs nothing. Kindness costs nothing.
Autumn, this individual is beaten down so bad. Now, this is somebody that I used to deal with, that every time I see them, I'm like, "Can I hug you?" He's like, "No."
Oh
He
wow.
doesn't want human touch right now.
Wow.
And the thing is that for me, he's warm, he's eating.
Yes.
Once again, he's not cold,
Okay.
because when
Okay.
I'm on the bus and I'm going past Lakeshore Drive and I see those tents,
Yes.
it does everything to me to not break down and cry.
Yes.
How is it possible in a world metropolitan city, on one of the richest planets on one of the richest countries on this planet, that we have normalized letting it be okay that people are living in cloth homes in
Mhm.
subarctic weather? I need someone to make that make sense to me.
You can't. We can't make it make sense. I do a night out every November for Covenant House. Me and some of my friends, we do a night out and we'll sleep outside with the homeless, and stuff. And basically, what it is to support them, and like some media might come, and since it's done every year here in Philadelphia, and just to it's like if you just forget about the cold for a minute and just look at how these people have just become okay with living that way. You know what I
Um,
mean? It's just, I do it because I'm grateful to have a home. I don't have no heat in here, but I'm grateful just to have the shelter, and just to think about those people who that's their home every day. And I was like, I told my parents, I was like, I'm going out here, I'm gonna do it, I'm doing it. And so I wore some warm clothes, and I was like, I'm doing it. And I went out there and said, can I sit out, stay overnight with y'all? And it was like, okay. And I bought food, and we just talked, and just the stories. And I told my children this, and I'm gonna repeat it. Every bum, well, certain people consider them bums. Every bum is not a bum. When you hear the stories, some of these people come from something. And I tell my children all the time, be careful or how you treat these people out here. I said, because they come from something, and they have families, some of them have children. And I don't want to take up the whole lot, but I'm gonna give you a quick story. When back in 1985, I was working for the city of Philadelphia. We had a cold blue team. I was pregnant with my son. We went out during cold blue just to get all the homeless people off the street. I met a lady. She was from Maine. She was homeless, sleeping on a vent. She didn't want to go. She said, I'd rather die out here than go into a shelter. I said, no. And she was an older lady. I said, no, baby, come on. She said, you gonna go with me? I said, I am. So I sat with her for a couple hours. Fast forward, I'm watching a news show with my dad, and they featured her. And this woman was a well-known psychiatrist, not psychologist. She was a doctor. She had a mental breakdown and drove till she couldn't drive no more, and made it here, and and became homeless. Her family was looking for me. She was like, oh my God. She was talking about how kind I was to her. And my dad was like, you need to go down there and tell them people. I said, I will not. I will not. I said, that was my job. I said, I will not take nothing from that thing. I'm glad her family found her. Her and her husband was a team. They had a business, and she had a mental breakdown. And that's why I said, when you see those people out in the street, they everybody is not what they appear to be.
Autumn, I'm gonna say this. I would go when I could. When I could, I would go,
Yes,
and it was almost every day. And I would bring him food,
yes,
and I would try, and when he was sick, I'd bring him medicine and things of that nature.
yes.
2 tenths away from him, 2 tenths away from him was an older Caucasian woman. This woman had 2 master's degrees.
Wow.
Um, this whole YouTube thing, it started, it started like a little hobby. Let's do some cute shit here. Let me do a few readings here, and what have you. I never knew, how do I say this? Like I said, when I started this live, I woke up today to find out that this channel has now 1,263 subscribers. I never thought that. That blows me. And I know that there are YouTube channels that got way more. I mean, that little number is probably a drop in the bucket, but that's more than I ever thought I would ever get. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And and like I said, I wanted I wanted a platform to where I could do my readings. I wanted a platform where I could hone my skills. I wanted a platform, to showcase some stuff. I never knew that this platform would invoke a sense of service. There are people that come to this channel that really, really need some help. If they don't need help, they just need to be heard.
Yes.
You know, and and
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you, Miss Ronnie. I
And
am.
I'm grateful for you
And
too.
and the
I'm grateful.
whole family on here. I am. I'm so grateful. I really am.
And baby, we are grateful. We are grateful that you're here, sweetheart. You found your tribe, and I found
Mm,
mine. And I
yeah.
found mine. And and with that, this whole thing takes on a different sense of responsibility. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Whether I feel it or not. Whether I feel it or not, come on, Ronnie, the terabytes, they need something to walk into this new 5-day work cycle. Who the fuck am I not to? Who the
Yes.
fuck am I not to? You know what I'm saying? And there are some times that I get off this and I'm like, oh God, I'm glad that is over. There are some times I get off this and you all energize me, But at the end of the day, um, I've learned not to question. I've learned not to question universal mind. These situations have been placed in my view for a reason. All right. Me going out there, if it's community mental health,
Yes.
me going out there, if it is to help the that very fragile community, the homeless community, it ain't no different than when I sit behind this computer. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's
That
true.
spirit is still there and
That's
stuff.
true.
And the thing is though, is that I know that there are not all of the stories are not going to be success stories. I get it. I get it. But I will tell you this much. About 2 weeks ago on a Sunday, my friend, um, I'm at work, and he sent me a text, and he said, "I think I'm having a heart attack." I said, call 911. I'm on my way. The idea of me not making it on time changed everything. It changed everything. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. And let me tell you something. It's not easy with him. It's not easy with him. But for whatever reason, the idea of him dying alone,
Oh yes.
that oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. That we're not going to do. That we're not going to do. So as I'm going along this journey with him, I'm looking at what resources are available. I'm trying to see what on my side, what I can do to help bridge things up and stuff like that. And not only that though, but Autumn, I will say this much, and even on a political scene, with this bastard in office, we have seen how delicate the balance of democracy is. And not only that, we have seen these old power structures just fall to the wayside. Like I said, I just got off my phone with my insurance broker. And again, my shit doubled. Again, my money comes to me freely and easily from expected and unexpected sources. I'm not going to have a bill that I can't pay. All right.
Right.
But the thing is, though, is that, and especially when that bastard cut off Snap, if that didn't say nothing to me, that said that kind of power can never be delegated to an assembly or something like that. That power has got to be given back to the people. And as much as I see a lot of fuck shit going down, I see a lot of things coming up that is sealing that. I see a lot of things coming up that's like, okay, you failed us. Now it's our turn. And to
Yes.
me, that's a beautiful thing. Now, wait a minute. Not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody's going to make it.
I
But
know.
to see that, you know, that the community at large is trying to seal up those spaces, those cracks. That gives me a lot. That gives me a lot of hope.
Yes. Yes.
That gives me a lot of hope. Listen. We was gonna go through a whole lot of things. We at the 45 mark. So we gonna end this on a prayer. Okay, we're gonna end this on a prayer. I'm gonna drop you down, all right, baby?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Miss Autumn,
Yes.
you always got a home here, baby, and I'm always thankful that you're here, baby.
I
Okay.
appreciate you.
I'm
Yes.
always happy that you're here. All right. So y'all, you know, this live was going to be talking about the pressures of this holiday and all of that. And you know, we got sidetracked, but it's okay because the conversation was valid. But that's not to say that the pressures of the holiday are not real. So with that being said, as we walk in to this new 5-day work cycle, take a deep breath, let it go. Center yourselves. And we're going to speak the word as we gather under divine wisdom. May we release the pressure that was never meant to be carried alone. The expectations, the urgency, the weight that lingered beyond the holidays. May we move into this new 5-day work cycle with clarity instead of force, with steadiness instead of strain, and with truth about where we are. When pressure rises, guide us to pause instead of panic, to choose presence over performance, and to respond with intention. Give us the strength to do what is ours and the wisdom to release what isn't. Let this 5-day work cycle be guided, not rushed, balanced, not brittle, intentional, and not overwhelming. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And Lady Sarah, you know I'm grateful for you. You know I'm grateful for you and the other Mahdi's. So there we go, y'all. We spoke the word for how we want this 5-day work cycle to go. That's it. That's all. Tomorrow, Mars is in Capricorn in its oh shit, I can't even say the word. Exaltation. Shit. So whatever it is that we are putting our minds to, the stars are aligning so we can go out and do what we need to do. All right. So with all that being said, remember, your assignment is your alignment. Whenever we feel that pressure, what are we going to do? We're going to close our eyes and ask the universe, show me how good it can be. All right. And with all that being said, y'all, thank you so much. Thank you all for being a part of that 1,263 subscribers. Baby, this little channel doing something. This little channel doing something. And with all that, y'all stay blessed. Check out the downloads for tomorrow, all right? All right. Good night, babies.